All eyes are on Old Trafford today to see how Manchester United will respond after that disappointing defeat against West Ham. 0-0 against Valencia. How did they respond? How do you sum this up?
They did what exactly it says on the tin. They were boring, pretty abysmal, lacklustre, going forward with a striker who is out of form, out of confidence, and a defence that only kept a clean sheet because Valencia were poor in the final third themselves. So, same old, same old.
Average at best.
Yeah.
I mean...
Both sides.
Both sides. I mean, let's be honest. Guedes for Valencia could have been man of the match. The amount of times he had the ball in the attacking third and wasted it was incredible. You can't say that about any Man United player. They never even got on the ball to waste it. It was awful.
You know how low Manchester United has fallen when there's conversation going around this game saying, well, at least they're trying hard.
Yeah.
That's it? That's a standard from Manchester United? They try hard? It should be a whole lot better from Manchester United. It should be a whole lot better from Valencia as well. This was an unwatchable match, and we all should be bothered by the fact that we actually had to pay attention to this game. It was worthless.
But they should be fine in Champions League qualifying.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure because Young Boys of Bern were walloped again.
Yeah.
Who are in that group. So expect Man United and Valencia to beat them. I mean, I don't think they'll pick a point up in this particular group. And now Man United have to go to Valencia, and then Valencia play Young Boys twice. So I don't think they're guaranteed. If we think Juventus might go through this group with a 100% record, which is probable and possible, then they're not guaranteed. No, second place. I don't think.
What do you think, Stevie?
I can't think of any reason why Manchester United can think that they can go to Valencia and win. That's
the final game of this group, isn't it?
And that's the bottom line. There's no reason to think they can do that, which is unthinkable. So I think it's advantage Valencia, to be honest.
And by the way, if this United turn up against Juventus in Turin, and indeed at Old Trafford, Juventus are going to win these games easily.
Yeah, you watch Manchester United play, and every team has an opportunity to get a result against them. There is no level of confidence, and there is no confidence or performances to draw confidence from. There is nothing that you say, well, we're going to turn it around. So then you have to ask the question, maybe the only opportunity that they have to advance out of this group is that they are a different version of themselves in that last match against Valencia. How do they become a different version of themselves? Maybe Jose Mourinho's not around.
A lot more reaction to this game and indeed the others today in the Champions League on ESPN FC, available later today.
Marcus Rashford needs to get more game time. He's the one guy, he's a young guy with pace who's prepared to try things. But I tell you what, if Romelu Lukaku's not playing well, and he's not making the right runs, and he's not holding the ball up, and he's not linking play up, get him out the side and play Rashford through the middle in his proper position. As a striker, that's what he is. He's a clever young player who's quick and he's prepared to try things. There's no point sitting grumbling about your players not playing well. If a striker's not playing well, as Ali knows, then you're at jeopardy. If you're not scoring and somebody else has got a bit of quality, as Rashford has, then get him in the side and get him out. Because you've paid 80 whatever million you paid for him, doesn't matter.
It's not like you'd be taking a chance on Rashford either. Listen, the guy plays through the middle for England and excels. He scores goals. He's a difference maker. But yet it comes back to United, who are struggling, and he's either sitting on the bench or he's away out on the left-hand side.
Well, more to the point, it's the fact that Manchester United, they're not doing well. So if they're not doing well, then you, as a manager, this is when you make changes. This is when you impact the team. This is why you get paid money, to recognize, okay, this guy is not doing the job for me. How can I get the best out of my team? This guy right now is not part of the picture. Then you put in somebody else who can do the job. But these things are not happening for Manchester United, and they're not happening for Jose Mourinho. When he's asked a question about Champions League and what have you, and he starts talking about what they did last year, what is that all about? What is he talking about? What is this conversation about? Yeah. Why do I need to know what happened last year? I don't care, nor should he. Because the truth of the matter is that doesn't do anything to win games right now. And right now, they're struggling to win games against anybody.
The biggest surprise of the day happened in Russia. CSKA Moscow beating Real Madrid by 1-0. Puts them top of Group G. Real Madrid, of course, started off their campaign with that victory at the Bernabeu against Roma. 3 games now without scoring for Real Madrid. They had so many chances in this game. They hit the woodwork 3 times. Is it just unlucky, or is there a bigger problem here?
Well, losing 3 goals at Sevilla would suggest that it's not just the goal scoring that has been a problem recently, but the defending, and particularly when they had such a strong team out in those games. I know the couple of players missing.
Yeah, no Sergio Ramos, no Isco, no Bale today.
Yeah, I mean, but still, CSKA Moscow, with the players that you've got, you're still expecting more. Still expecting more against Atletico Madrid. Expecting more against Sevilla. I mean, it's a worrying time for Lopetegui. Although you did point out to me yesterday, and yesterday's show, correctly they're still, what, joint top of...
Yes.
Yeah, so everything's fine.
There you are. Panic time?
No, not panic time, but everything is not fine at Real Madrid. Anytime that Real Madrid goes scoreless in 3 matches, yeah, there are some questions that need to be asked. And let's go back to the beginning of the game where you know you haven't been scoring goals, so there is a lack of confidence there. There's a lack of continuity. You know that you don't have Gareth Bale on the field, and Isco is not on the field as well. And then Toni Kroos decides to play a volley across the field that doesn't quite work out. Varane doesn't defend it properly, and now you're down 1-0. And then all those doubts that you had coming in, they start showing up once again, because then you're saying, now we have to chase it. And we haven't been scoring. Then you press. Then you start to do too much. And in trying to do so, in trying to do too much, you end up hitting the post, you end up dribbling too much, you end up passing the ball when you need to shoot it, you end up shooting it when you need to pass it. All those things are happening for Real Madrid right now, and it shows up in the final score.
They're a little anxious, that's what they are. You know, CSKA had 1 chance and took it, and even although Toni Kroos, with a horrible back pass, Varane completely whiffed at the ball too. So, you know, when you're not putting them in at one end, and you're getting caught with one mistake defensively, then, in my opinion, it's just one of those things. I don't think this time. I don't think it's the time to panic.
I mean, the good news is they've got domestically. They're not the only team that are having their trials and tribulations. They're in a comfortable group. They've got Victoria Pleasant to play twice. They've got CSKA Moscow now to play at the Bernabeu, and then they've got Roma to play. So they're going to go out of this group. So he's got time to address what the issues are and what he perceives the issues are and get people back. That's not going to be a disaster for them. The problem is he's going to have to fix these issues for when they get to the knockout stage, or when Barcelona, Atletico Madrid put a run together in La Liga, and that will happen. He's got to make sure that his side's not in the form that they're in now. Hoffenheim want to play an open game, right? So there was no sign of trying to park the bus, so to speak. But clearly City were going to dominate. But Hoffenheim did look dangerous at times. But I like Sané. This pace down the left-hand side was great for them. Obviously, when Bernardo Silva come on, but so aesthetically, I'm not bothered about. I don't think he was bothered about the performance. It was just about the result, particularly after losing to Lyon.
Do you think that they should just bring in VAR in the knockout stages? Obviously, they announced this week that they're going to bring it in next year. It's embarrassing, isn't it, that we saw obviously the penalty that wasn't awarded for Sané late on, that the UEFA Champions League isn't embracing
there's
technology.
no question. The sooner that everybody has it, the better. Regardless, it clearly makes a difference, and it almost cost City this tie. But the referee, in my opinion, was the guy that almost cost City this tie. Some of the decisions he made, I thought were ridiculous, and the worst of all being the penalty that he never gave. And by the way, you said about City defensively, this isn't new. Regardless of them winning the Premier League last year, they've always looked vulnerable. They still look vulnerable.
But they're Champions League favourites, remember?
But that's why they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
There's no reason to have them Champions League favourites. So, listen, any team that gets to that back, whether it's 3 or 4, will cause them problems, because they're just not great defensively.
You would think that a team that lost at home to Lyon, and now they're going to Hoffenheim, okay, look, this is the sort of game where we're going to get everything right. A minute in, you're down 1-0.
Yeah.
It's a good reaction with Manchester City, but it's also a wake-up call to say, look, man, we gotta get ourselves going in this competition.
Tomorrow's big game at Wembley. Spurs taking on Barcelona. Pochettino's side looking to pick up their first points of the group stages after losing against Inter Milan. They'll have to do so, though, without Dele Alli, without Eriksen, without Vertonghen, without Dembele. You take a look at the probable starting 11. Is this team good enough to get something from Barcelona?
Well, if Barcelona play the way they have recently, then they've got a chance.
True.
But if Barcelona pitch up and put a performance in, then I don't see Tottenham getting a result. No.
How do they do this, Ali?
The answer is no.
No?
Not with this group of players, but that's dependent upon what version of Barcelona shows up. Now, Messi's supposed to be rested.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
He did not start on the weekend, and the focus was on paying attention to what was going to happen in the midweek. Well, here's the midweek. Barcelona, they have to defend better. So if you're Spurs and you want to have a chance in this match, you got to make sure that Lucas Moura is trying to run him behind. You got to test Barcelona defensively because they haven't done well. Defensively in 1v1 situations, defensively out of the midfield, defensively when they lose the ball, they're not able to press up and regain possession of the ball. That's the chance for Spurs. You stretch Barcelona, you make them go into a back-and-forth game. If you do that, then I think Spurs does have an opportunity.
Hello, welcome to Extra Time. How's your leg after yesterday's shenanigans?
Fine.
All right.
I think I could do better.
I don't think so.
A little bit of preseason.
No.
Preseason would have helped.
Confidence.
Pre-season.
Well, yes.
A lot of people were suggesting you should do that to Gab next time he's on.
Well, if Gab wants a cauliflower ear, then
You
I
wouldn't
can
give
give
it
it a
his
go.
ear, would you?
No, maybe not.
You're not only got to get over Gab, you've got to get round them.
Why do-
Whilst he writes a column. 3,000 words.
Why do we still hail Mourinho as one of the world's best when other managers win without destroying every club they touch?
I think it's fair to say we don't. Right?
No.
Consider what we've been saying over the last... What?
But you can't question his CV. Yeah, he's won a lot of trophies.
Yeah.
He's one of the most successful managers of his generation.
Yes.
He seems to have lost his mojo.
He's lost the plot.
What was the more impressive hat-trick today, Dybala or Dzeko? Dybala's first was nice, wasn't it? I can't really remember any of the others.
One was of a rebound of the shot. That's it. Goalkeeper saved it here. Dybala put it in.
Say what, you
And
got to
then
go.
it's
You got to
tap
go
in.
with Dzeko. I'm going to go with Dzeko.
Dzeko?
Yeah.
Against the vote?
I'll go with Dybala.
Dybala?
Nice goal. The first one was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Over the
tough.
top.
How about Dzeko's header? His hat-trick.
Well, that was nice too. What's the problem?
Get in!
Just throwing it in.
Okay.
Were you ever afraid of any of your fellow teammates?
As in, afraid of what? They're going to beat you up? Or
Yeah, maybe. Or
wondering what they're gonna
intimidating.
do?
Yeah. No?
In what way?
I don't know,
There's
Stephen.
a million different ways.
Okay, well, interpret it however you wish to answer the question in an interesting
Well, I'll tell you
and
what,
insightful way.
there were
There's your problem.
There were occasions when I was a little scared Grobbelaar was going to do something that might harm him. I remember him staying at a hotel in Spain, of all places, and there was a ledge all the way around the hotel.
Spain's a very odd place to go, Spain, isn't it?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, where are
I'll
we?
tell you then. Fine.
Oh, we're in Spain. It's very odd, this place, isn't it?
Spain of all
Who goes
places.
to Spain,
Can
eh?
you imagine having a
Well,
hotel in Spain?
And they're speaking a foreign language. Odd place.
Okay, so you were in Spain of all places.
Oh, you want to hear it now, huh?
Well, I'm intrigued
Well,
now.
yes.
So there was a
Fully
ledge
intrigued now.
outside the window. So we're on like the 16th floor, and there's a ledge.
That's odd.
Probably about that wide, all the way around the hotel.
Right. A ledge.
And Bruce, being Bruce, having had rather a few beverages beforehand, so it's like 12:30 at night, 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's going around the hotel on the ledge, banging on all the boys' windows. I mean,
All right, and there was...
that,
and you,
that was
wait.
scary.
And you were 16 floors up.
16 floors up.
Oh, mate, I think I smell a little porky pie in here.
Mum, I can see it right now in my head.
What was you doing hanging out the window?
I'm telling him to get yourself back in and don't be so stupid.
The ledge must have been wider than that.
I'm telling you, the ledge was that size, and he's crawling on his knees, banging on the windows.
I can see it. in
You've
my
no
head.
idea what you're dealing with this guy. Let me tell you.
Well, clearly he was a very good balancing act. Aye.
Were you ever afraid of any
Was
of
he
your...
shouting down the street? This is very odd to be in this position in this country.
Oh, dear.
Seriously. Actually, I just remembered another one.
Oh, I'm enjoying these.
So, If anybody watching or any of you guys ever meet Bruce, have a look and see he's got a scar under his chin.
Okay.
He fell from that balcony.
Right.
But what he did, we were at one night in a club, and one of the bouncers
What's
was
this got
telling
to do
him.
about being afraid of somebody?
Do you want to hear it or no?
All right.
One of the bouncer's speciality was to stand with his hands by his side,
And then hit-
fall straight down, and just before he hit the ground, pull his hands out.
Oh.
And of course, again, Bruce.
Well, that's a
Bruce thinks he can
speciality.
do it. Have you ever tried it?
What? That's what? Falling
Anyway.
and then try to stop us?
Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
so Bruce decided he was going to do it,
Right.
but he again had a few beverages in him.
Wow.
And rather mistakenly forgot to put his arms out and bounced his chin off the ground and split it open and ended up in the hospital getting this stitched up.
Is that the story that he tells now, or would it be a different twist on it?
You and him.
I've no idea, but I just
Hold
know,
on,
I
let
just
me-
know that for a
Let
fact.
me get this right. And you were the sensible one out of the
And I
two?
was a sensible one out of two, is I. There you go.
You were the standard of excellence.
Yeah. He was the brain.
Yes.
He was the brains in the outfit.
Is your name mentioned in the book at all? He's got a book out, hasn't he?
He has got a book out, I don't know what it's called, but...
Are you in it
yeah,
at
I've got
all?
a couple of mentions.
In what regard?
Well, drinking beer, obviously.
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 So he doesn't recognize you as the brains of the operation then? In the book?
No, because he thinks he's the brains of the
Oh.
operation.
That's a problem.
Doesn't bode well. That is it. ESPN FC is back tomorrow. Napoli, Liverpool. What's the other
Good one.
Yeah, there's another good one. Oh, Spurs, Barcelona as well.
No Cristiano Ronaldo for Juventus, but no problem whatsoever as they ran riot against Young Boys of Bern in Group H to make it 2 wins out of 2. A Paulo Dybala hat-trick paving the way for the victory. They were able to give Chiellini the night off as well. No problems whatsoever for Juve, and Dybala looking sensational in front of goal.
I think you're probably able to give most of the staff a night off when you're playing Young Boys of Bern. When Man United go to Switzerland, a team that we know and everyone knows is not playing particularly well at the moment under Jose Mourinho, and beats you by 3 goals in your own patch, then going to Turin, I don't think anybody was expecting anything other than a comfortable night. He's able to rest some players. Dybala was able to get the goals you mentioned. He's a player that they're trying to find, with Ronaldo back in the team, whenever that is after his suspension, trying to find that chemistry between him and Mandzukic and Ronaldo and how it's all going to work. Obviously, Ronaldo was in the stands tonight. No problem for Juventus. Off the back of a good win against Napoli at the weekend where they went behind, fought back. Very strong squad. So he can rotate players, but Paulo Dybala is a player who divides opinion, both for club and for country. Whenever I watch him play, I think he's a fabulous little player.
When you look at Juventus and what they've got up next with Manchester United, they go
Yep.
and take them on in the double header. Do you see any problems for them?
Well, not in Man United's current state, I have to be honest. Juventus have got a better squad, they've got clever players, they've got a manager who's got a clear plan in what he wants to do, and he's been in there a few years now and has had success. They're strong defensively and they've got options going forward, so I would be shocked if one, Juventus didn't top this group, and two, I think there's a fair chance they could top this group with a 100% record, because I think they're way stronger than everybody else in it, and that includes Man United, who are clearly not having a good time.
Manchester City are off and running in this season's Champions League with a 2-1 away win at Hoffenheim. It wasn't so easy for them. They fell behind inside 60 seconds and didn't win it until 3 minutes from the end from a David Silva finish. Craig, what were your main takeaways from a performance in which Manchester City dominated, but at times they struggled to get that result?
Well, struggled in the left-back department for a long period with Laporte playing there, made a couple of mistakes that he got away with. Defensively poor in the first minute that you mentioned, but came back from that. Hoffenheim's never going to be an easy game away. Young coach and Nagelsmann in there, good attacking side, wanted to play an open game. There was none, didn't try and sit in against City like a lot of teams do. But City did dominate, and when the winner came, obviously, David Silva, who has been one of the great players in the last 10 years for Manchester City, popped up with that bit of quality. But I enjoyed watching Sané going forward. He's been a big sort of headline maker over the last 3 months with not going to the World Cup, with sitting out most of City's game at the start of the season. And talk about his attitude, been part of the problem. I thought to see him get game time and play the way that he did going forward, showing his pace, was pretty good to watch from a Man City perspective.
They have a lot of options, don't they? The game markedly improved from their perspective when Bernardo Silva came on as well. Do you think Pep learned anything in terms of his attacking options, or he's just happy to use everything at his disposal?
No, and I think Bernardo Silva in the last few months has been absolutely wonderful, and obviously the signing of Mahrez just gives him another option in there. Then you have Sané's pace, he's a completely different player. You can play Sterling through the middle in a more central role where he's been playing, or you can play him wide. So nothing there going forward. I think where City sometimes fall down is they get a bit sloppy. They get a bit sloppy in the middle of the park, or they get a bit sloppy at the back, and then they have to chase the game. And then sometimes they leave themselves a little bit more open. Wasn't so much of a problem because Hoffenheim are a good side, they're not a great side. So you can get away with these mistakes sometimes at this stage of the competition, Ross. It's when you get to the latter stages you make those mistakes, as Man City found out against Liverpool last year, when there's no coming back from that.
OK, well, they've got the first 3 points in the bag. In 3 weeks' time, they'll be taking on Shakhtar Donetsk as well in the double header on match days 3 and 4. But Manchester City now wiping away the problems of that early loss to Lyon. They get the 3 points in Germany.